Welcome to Sheboygan Talks. I am Drew Osler, and this is our brand new talk show coming to you here at Otterbein University. This talk show is going to be about many things, whether it be sports, movies, or music. You name it, we will most likely talk about it. With all of that being said, here are my two guests and two of the four members of our friend group we like to call Sheboygan. To the right of me is Henry Barnes. He's a sophomore slash junior, and his best ball knowledge is definitely music. To the right of Henry is Joshua Porter, also known as JP for short. He's a sophomore. His best ball knowledge is college basketball. He is also a Kentucky fan, so don't ask him about Louisville. We're also all on the cross country and track team here at Otterbein. For our first ever episode, we will be talking about all college football, but first to get us started, let's get right into it and talk about how we even got the name Sheboygan. So this is Henry and JP. So go ahead, you guys can talk about how we even got here as a friend group. I can go ahead and bring up bring up the picture of us
There we go.
last year. So this is us. We'll talk about this gem of a man right here a little later. But go ahead, you guys can introduce yourselves and kind of talk about the friend group.
Well, my name's Henry Barnes. I'm a sophomore slash junior. Met this mug over here. We were moving in, and he was at the end of my hallway. We were in Angle, back in the triad. First person on the team that I ran into. Saw him. I think he had his mom with him. My mom and him got to chatting. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Joshua. Turns out to be JP for short. But anyway, as we continued on, started going over to Drew's apartment to watch a bunch of football because I couldn't pay for all the subscriptions. But anyway, waddle over there a couple nights. We're hanging out, and I go to leave one night, and like, you know what? There's a kid down the hall that knows a lot about ball. So pulled JP up with us, and I think that was one of the first times that we went over to the apartment. We were all watching ball together.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Like he said, I remember seeing Henry at Walmart before I moved in my first day, and it was just history ever since. They went over, and then one day I was like, I should probably just go and mingle with these guys and not just be a bum all the time. So I made my way over to the apartment, and I mean, it's been that ever since. So yeah,
The rest is cinema.
So where the name, I guess, originally comes from is we are huge Cavs fans here as a friend group, and we also love the NBA. So I don't know his name, but we like to call him the Hornets announcer. He was announcing a game over in Wisconsin against the Bucks, and LaMelo Ball decided to shoot a three from what seemed like freaking half court and said, "Oh my goodness, from Sheboygan." And since then, we named our Snapchat group chat that, and it's just been history from there. So now we call ourselves Sheboygan. So now I'll go right into our fourth guy right here. As you can see, this is Ian Clevenger. I met him so I'm a senior. I met him my freshman year. He was on the team, on the cross country team for 2.5 years. He was my suite mate my sophomore year. And then my junior year, he started coming over to watch Cavs games. He had them like on FanDuel, or back then it was Bally Sports, back in the good old days. And so that's how I met him. And then again, he joined our group. Well, really, they joined our group, me and Clev. And he now lives in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. He is a resident of Anchorage up there. We're gonna get to see him. He'll come see us next week. But yeah, that is our fourth person. Maybe we'll try and get him on here or something.
Monday night.
Anyway, so that is our origination of that group. So let's get right into our actual, what we're going to be talking about today. So what we're going to be talking, if you do not know, every single week after week 10 of the college football season, the College Football Playoff Committee comes out with a top 25 rankings. These rankings are based on wins and losses, quality wins and quality losses, which we can also talk about later in this episode. Also, they factor in strength of schedule, many other little factors that most fans don't even know. All in all, they use research and results of games to try and give us the most accurate top 25 that they can every week. So here are the rankings this week. So if I can freaking pull it up here on B. So this is the top 25 of the last one. So these come out every Tuesday, I think between like 7 and 8:30. Oop, I am messing it up. I'm sorry. So they come out between like 7 and 8:30 every single week on Tuesday nights. So if you can't see this, I'll just read it out for you. So they had Ohio State at 1, Indiana at 2, Texas A&M at 3, Georgia at 4, Texas Tech at 5, Ole Miss at 6, Oregon at 7, Oklahoma at 8, Notre Dame at 9, Alabama at 10, BYU at 11, Utah at 12, Miami at 13, Vanderbilt at 14, USC at 15, and Georgia Tech at 16, Texas at 17, Michigan at 18, Virginia at 19, Tennessee at 20, Illinois at 21, then Missouri at 22, Houston at 23, Baylor at 24, and to round it out, they had, 24, and at 25 they had Arizona State. So getting right into this, the first big thing that pops out to me for you guys is that they have Notre Dame over Alabama, which I really don't, that doesn't make any sense to me. I know Alabama just lost to Oklahoma, but Notre Dame has 0 Power 5 0 top 25 wins, and they have 2 top 25 losses. So that's a big thing that pops out to me. Other than that, this isn't too bad of a top 25. They also come out with a bracket. So this is just the top 12 in the bracket. This isn't really like what could actually be, because Ohio State would still have to play Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, and Georgia would still have to play Texas A&M. Also, this year the new rule is that you don't get an automatic bye if you win your conference championship. You do get automatically into the top 12, but you don't get an automatic bye. So that changes up a little bit of things here. Last night they had their predictions that Ohio State winning the Big Ten, I think Texas A&M winning the SEC. Then they just had Miami in there because they're the highest ACC team, and then they had obviously Tulane winning the American and getting in as the American champion. So we can jump right into this. I don't know what else pops out with you guys, but we can get right into it.
No, I didn't have any surprises. Tulane Green Wave sneaking in the playoff. Always love to see that, but there's also some other teams kind of outside on the cusp looking in. Especially kind of just depends on when we get down to those conference championship times, who's going to come out on top, because that always kicks a couple teams out. I know that there's a 9-1 James Madison team kind of outside those Power 4 conferences. They're looking to work their way in there.
I mean, the group
They're
of 5,
scrappy.
man, it's different this year. It
Yeah.
really is. It's some crazy stuff. We got the midshipmen at Navy over there at 9-2, right? Or 8-2.
Yeah.
They 8-2, 9-2.
Mm-hmm.
We still got Memphis in the they're in the hunt there, and the American is just, that's a gauntlet this year.
I mean,
That's
it's
what we
simply a
like to call it.
gauntlet.
That's what we like to call it. That's a huge gauntlet over there. So any week, anything can happen here. And I really thought Alabama was going to win out, and then they lose to an Oklahoma team, and like now that's throwing a wrench into the SEC. I mean, Texas A&M looked like crap for 2.5 quarters, and then they somehow pulled off a huge win against South Carolina. And they still have to play at Texas here in 2 weeks, which we'll get more in depth into later. But yeah, I don't know. On the top 25, the top 4 were pretty good to me. Top 5, I guess. Really like the top 7, and then after that, it kind of got a little bit mixy with Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Alabama. But
yeah, I think Alabama just got shafted there because of their early season loss to Florida State, who just turned out to not be very good.
Yeah,
some would say frauds. Some would say frauds.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, those middle seeds, like especially 6 to around 9. Well, I mean, Notre Dame that's a whole other argument, but I mean, I think those middle teams those could go interchangeable, so it's going to be a toss up there, and especially you have 3 SEC teams there in the middle, so it's just going to be interesting how the rest of the season plays out, and it's just
also, let's not even get started on the dang ACC, man.
I mean that's a whole,
that conference is insane. I mean, I don't know. They have Miami in right now just because they're the highest ACC team, but that Miami team, I've been reading up on them. They actually have like 0% chance to even make the ACC championship game, so they actually would need a lot of teams to lose and somehow be able to get that top 10 spot in the college football playoff after the the champions. So, I mean, the ACC, I know Georgia Tech is a 1 loss in the ACC right now. They're at 16. Virginia's a 1 loss in the ACC. They're at 19. And then, Miami's a 2 loss, but they think they're going to be in. Also, SMU, I think, they're not in the top 25.
Yeah, we have SMU and Pitt still here at 5-1 in the conference.
Pittsburgh. Right.
4 teams above Miami.
Yeah, exactly. But Miami is for some reason in the playoff right now. I mean, this is just and what I've really learned here from
Abomination.
the committee here is that they're not really factoring in strength of schedule as much as they usually do. They're really
Yeah.
factoring in more of the eye test. And that shows, and I mean, I can be a little biased because I'm an Ohio State fan, but that kind of shows Ohio State. Yes, I think they're far and away the number one team in the country. But if you would base straight off strength of schedule, I think Texas A&M is probably the number one team in the country, and then Indiana might be two, and you might even put Ohio State at 3 or 4. But obviously, eye test, Ohio State definitely looks like they are the far and away the number one. I know. I mean, as much as I read, everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, they don't play anybody." First of all, that's not their fault. Secondly, like nobody has came anywhere close to beating them at all. Unlike Indiana almost losing to Iowa and Texas A&M freaking almost losing to a 3-6
Yeah.
South Carolina team.
Ohio
I don't
State's
even
been the
go
safe
in there.
bet all season.
Yeah, I mean,
and hasn't been close.
just now that Texas is irrelevant now, but getting the early win against the preseason number one, and then just going from there, I think it's just it's just a statement on more of their defense honestly than their offense, but. Yeah, it's just they're kind of out of their control, but I agree on the number one spot. And then, Indiana is more or less. Well, I mean, they have a little bit of a better schedule, but they're more or less in the same boat as Ohio State is. But
Yeah, a lot of these top teams this week just playing nobodies. Ohio
Yeah.
State playing Rutgers, Samford against Texas A&M,
Samford,
Charlotte,
bro.
Georgia. Got Michigan playing Maryland. That's really
It's
nobody.
at Maryland. That's low key. Could be a trap game there. Don't even
We'll
let me get
see.
started on the Wolverines. Man.
Big matchup for BYU this weekend, though, playing Cincinnati.
Oh,
Brent Sorsby.
I wanted to get into that, man. I mean, the two late games this week of, I think it's Georgia Tech either at Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh at Georgia Tech,
Yeah.
which is huge at 7. That could determine a spot in the ACC championship
At
game.
Georgia
That's
Tech.
basically a playoff game for both teams here, trying to get a win. And Georgia Tech did not look good against a 1-9 Boston College team last week.
Yeah.
It's really Haynes King and everybody else down there in Tech.
Power of
I mean,
friendship.
that guy is a dog, but their defense is pretty atrocious.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. And then the other night game, like you said, the BYU Cincinnati game, again, another playoff game there. I mean, BYU, they're the first team out right now, and they're looking to try and get in. I think they only have one loss in the Big 12 right
Yeah.
now. They only have one loss total. I think it's just to Texas.
Just to Texas
Tech.
Tejas.
So they can still play into to the Big 12 championship game, but we'll see. That true freshman quarterback, man, I think it's Bear Backmeyer.
Mhm.
He's been looking really good, but kind of got a little rattled there against Texas Tech last week. But we'll see, man. I mean, college football is so unpredictable. I mean, every single week you think one team's gonna win. I mean, it's tough to say as an Ohio State fan, but I mean, this Michigan team still has a chance to make the college football playoff. I mean, they have
Yeah.
only one loss in the Big Ten right now. If they can win out and beat the inaugural number one team in the country, go to the Big Ten championship game and win, you can see them getting a top 5 spot in the college football playoff if they can somehow win out. Now, I don't think they're going to do that because they look like crap, but and I'm a little biased. But either way, man, I mean, we could sit here and talk about forever for these teams,
Yeah.
but I think
As,
we're gonna look.
as the late and great Jackson Dart said, we just got to win out. We got to win.
Yeah,
We just gotta
I
win
mean, you just got to know. You got to know Jackson Dart, and you got to know that we're gonna have to win out here.
Yeah, one loss hurts a lot of teams here. Big matchup
Yeah.
this weekend. Also, USC Oregon, 16 and the 6.
Yeah,
Big 3:30 game. That's either team. That's a must-win contest there.
Is it Jaden Mayava and the boys? Got to go into
Yeah.
Eugene.
Going into Eugene,
Try and get a
Hudson
win.
Stadium.
I mean, we already saw a team in the Big Ten get a win in the Eugene this year at Indiana, but I think Oregon probably gets it done.
Yeah, Oregon doesn't lose at home very often.
No,
Yeah.
and USC they lost to Illinois, so that's not a
Mhm.
good loss. They also lost to Notre Dame, but not a bad loss. Okay, so sorry. I guess I was wrong. Notre Dame does have one top 25 win. They beat USC,
Mhm.
but yeah, I don't know. I think Dante Moore is gonna have his boys ready and Dan Lanning, and I think Oregon can get that done. I don't know what you think. What do you think, Josh? AP?
Yeah, I mean, it's they struggled with Indiana obviously, but I think they can bounce back, and I always have some faith in Dan Lanning, so yeah, I think they'll recover just fine, and yeah, I mean they get everything sorted here. I think they could. I mean, as the bracket has them now, they win. They have to rematch Indiana, so I mean, however that sorts out, I think they can have a push to make it pretty far. Yeah, I have a lot of faith in Dan Lanning.
Me too. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take Dan Lanning and the boys down there.
Yeah.
The other top 25 matchup, the only other top 25 matchup this week will be at noon. Missouri and the Missouri Tigers
Oklahoma.
gonna have to go into Norman there at noon and play John Mateer and the boys.
I mean, when
Boomer
we say
Sooner.
implications don't get bigger, it's not really an exaggeration. I mean,
No.
Oklahoma's sitting 8-2 right now. Like
Yeah.
that is humongous. They're fighting. They're right now sitting in the 8-hole. Like that's a big game for them. They struggle and go 8-3. They're gonna slide. So
yeah, I mean that's a playoff game in itself. There, I don't know if Bo Pribula is back yet for the Tigers or not.
yeah, I mean, what I've watched of them this year, I mean they've had some good games, but I mean they've also struggled when it matters. So I mean we're probably seeing a Boomer Sooner victory there, but.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, it's. I mean, it's the SEC, man. It's
it's
simply
just-
put, it's a gauntlet. So
it is.
it's hard. I mean, it's hard to predict, but
Yeah, you'd think the Sooners
Yeah.
ride the momentum off the underdog win
Yeah,
last
yeah.
week against Alabama. I don't know. It's hard to bet against the Sooners.
Yeah,
Sometimes Missouri is just disappointing too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They
I
have
mean,
confidence in that ball club.
it's so tough to. I would like to see her and predict some of these conferences, but I just don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
it's hard to tell. Like just looking down the SEC right now. I mean, they all have a couple losses, but they're all to each other, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia goes and loses to Alabama, and then beats Ole Miss, and then it's just. I mean, it's
Did
just
Georgia,
great.
did Georgia and Oklahoma play? No, they didn't.
No, baby. Yep.
No, but then Oklahoma loses to Ole Miss too, and then they lose to Tejas, and it's just Then Oklahoma beats Bama. It's every week. It's just hard to tell. Like,
Yeah.
And Texas beat Oklahoma, which they have 3 losses, and there is
Yeah.
unfortunately a way that 3-loss Texas could make it into the college football playoff this year.
yeah,
Yeah.
Barring a lot of losses here, and also
Yeah.
another way that Alabama could be left out. They still play Auburn in 2 weeks.
I
Mhm.
know.
Don't let me.
yeah.
get
We haven't
started.
even brought up rivalry
On
week yet.
rivalry
That's
week here.
humongous.
I mean, we got Friday night. Friday at 3:30, we got Georgia having to go into Georgia Tech and play Haynes King and the boys. And then Friday night, we have Marcel Reed and the Aggies. They have to go play Arch Manning and the Longhorns. And those games, obviously playoff games, both there. For Georgia Tech, not as much. They need a win, but they can still win the ACC, so that's not as huge. But for Georgia, that's definitely a big game for them to try because I think they already have Georgia. No, Georgia only has 1 loss. But
yeah,
good. Not as many implications there, but still, I mean, it's a rivalry game. It's going to be a gauntlet. It's going to be smash mouth. Then the night game, I mean, you're not going to want to miss Texas A&M Texas because that's the way Texas can still make it in. If they pummel Texas A&M, it's going to be hard to leave
Yeah.
out a 3-loss team there. But I don't know, man.
we're gonna have
I
a
do
big
not
we're
know.
gonna have a big contest in Pittsburgh and Miami. If Miami does pull out a win there, that really tosses everything up in the. And then if Georgia Tech loses, I mean that leaves ACC wide open. I mean it's No.
Anyone's ball game.
yeah.
It really is. It
We have
really
like
is.
a 5-team race right now. I mean, as of now, it's kind of hard for Miami to get in, but there's 2 games left in the season for them, and if everything goes right, we could be seeing them going dancing. So
Yeah. I'm going to hit quick here on Notre Dame.
yeah,
So, my honest opinion on the Fighting Irish is they need to join a conference, okay? Because I've been watching a couple, shows I love the Joel Klatt show, and I like to watch him. So Notre Dame, they're gonna end up probably going 10-2 here because they don't really play. They
Play
play
Syracuse, and
and then I don't know who
I don't
they
think
played
they
at
play
the end of
anyone
the
else.
season.
They play
Yeah.
in their season against Stanford.
Okay, so
So
they're gonna be
nobody's-
being 10-2. This team, they lost to Miami early, and then they lost to Texas A&M very early as well, starting 0-2. They're gonna have 10 straight wins, but this team is gonna be able to sit at 10-2, not have to play in a conference championship, and then be able to sit. And then teams that lose their conference championship games are actually might end up falling back and end up get hurt worse than a team that is not even in a conference, but they're sitting at 10-2. So it's hard to say. I would like to Notre Dame to make the top 12. I think they're a really good team, but I think they need to go to the ACC or the Big 12 or somewhere and start playing in a championship game because this is not good for a team like even a team like Georgia or a team like Alabama with already 2 losses. If they have to play in the SEC championship and they lose again, that's going to be hurting them more than Notre Dame sitting there and doing nothing. So.
yeah. I mean, if you let's just say hypothetically you toss them into the ACC, that adds another team. Like they would be leading the ACC right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then they would actually have to play some teams down the stretch. So it would just make that more interesting,
I'm pretty
obviously.
sure Notre Dame pulled out a win against Pittsburgh a week or two ago,
Yeah.
too. So that would also toss that conference even further up into the air. Plus
Right.
Clemson, just a non-factor
Right.
this year, too.
Oh my goodness.
Florida
Yeah.
State, bad. Florida, bad. Like,
Some of these
that
teams-
conference definitely didn't shake out. Virginia, being a football school, not on my bingo
Yeah.
card for
Definitely
2025.
not. But also, let's hit real quick. James Franklin getting into
Oh,
his new job
Lordy.
there
Wearing
at
some
Virginia
orange down
Tech.
there.
I mean, what do we think we're gonna see there in the next couple of years with Virginia Tech and Franklin?
I'm going to say a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah, I
to be honest
mean,
with ya.
it
Let's
seems
see.
like Virginia Tech's been in obscurity for a really long time now. So, I mean,
They pulled out huge wins this year against Wofford and North Carolina State. So
yeah.
Okay.
not a whole lot of confidence in them. Still got, I don't even know. Let's see. I couldn't tell you a single person on their team. Still
No.
can't tell you, and I'm looking at the roster.
Some of those players probably don't.
AJ
Yeah.
Brand. I couldn't tell you anything about him. I don't think it's going to help him at all. 11th in the ACC.
Yeah,
this year,
I
and
mean,
the
we could
ACC 's
probably
still
see
pretty
them
bad.
go to like maybe 500 in the upcoming years. Like, I mean, if they could get a bowl season, that would be really good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's asking a lot. I mean, James Franklin. I mean, I
Fall
don't
from
have
grace.
that much to say about him, but he's not the worst coach I've ever seen. He's by far the greatest man I've ever laid eyes on. But I mean, I have some faith in him to at least get some wins. I mean, you have people breathing down your neck in the Big Ten all the time to go and get it done, and he can't do that. But I think the ACC is maybe a little bit easier.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
We can sit here and do hypotheticals like SEC fans, but we're not.
Mhm.
But hypothetically, the Big Ten is definitely better than the ACC.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I have a little bit. I actually feel a little different about James Franklin. I think he turned around that Penn State
Yeah.
program pretty quick, and I don't know. I think it might be a little bit of a Bill Belichick here at North Carolina. I think first couple
Yeah.
years might be a little rough, but a lot of guys liked playing for James Franklin was the thing.
Mhm.
Not and yeah, he couldn't win big games, but they liked to play for him. So I think he might be able to get in some big recruits, maybe get some big time guys, and maybe be pushing for a 10-2 or 9-3 season. Maybe trying to make the ACC championship game here and down the stretch here. I mean, we might be moving to a 16-team playoff here in 1 or 2
Mhm.
years, and maybe they could sneak in. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see how he's going to do down there, paying all those players at Virginia Tech and see how they go for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can even see some Nittany Lions travel down there to Virginia Tech with
Good.
them. I mean, that would definitely help them.
Yeah,
And
that
then
would be great.
it's I think just the big thing is just the name he's wearing. You know, people are gonna have some faith in him, and like you said, like he already got some big recruits in his time at Penn State, and you know, just even though he couldn't get those big wins when he needed to, I mean, he still was continuously a solid team in the Big Ten. So I mean, I think we can see maybe look forward down the road a little bit, but I expect some good things out of him down there. I think he can turn that program around.
Yeah, me too. But as we hit on that, let's talk a little bit more on rivalry. I know we talked about this week, so I think like I said, I have Oregon beating USC. I think BYU gets it done there at Cincinnati this week, and then next week I really think Texas A&M is going to get it done there at Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to play at Texas. Don't get me wrong, but Arch Manning has done nothing but shown me that he is trash. So I don't really have any faith in the kid there. So I think the Aggies are going to take that, and really, man, it's really a toss-up. But I think Georgia is gonna overcome Haynes King and Georgia Tech there because their defense is just really bad, and Georgia loves to just play in some smash mouth games, and they
Yeah.
can beat just about anybody besides Alabama. So, and then again, the game. I got to take my Buckeyes this year. I mean, I just don't like what Bryce Underwood has to do over there. And I know last year it was a really bad year, but that was also a really timid Ryan Day. And Ryan Day has shown that he is going to open the playbook here and did it in the college football playoff and actually has not lost a single game since they lost to Michigan last year.
Mhm.
So,
Hard to go into the big house, though.
Yeah, I mean that's
It
the one
really
thing
is.
really going against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean everything else on paper, at least Ohio State is getting the point. But
Yeah.
I mean, when you break it down, I mean, you have to go into the big house and try to get a win. There's just gonna be 100,000 people screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. I
Be a
mean,
good
the good
game.
thing Ohio State has some age under their belt, right? They've gotten some experience, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I think Bryce Underwood's gonna feel the momentum when he's got 100,000 people cheering for him. But I mean, yeah, it's time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, definitely a fire under these Buckeyes too. These seniors
Yeah.
haven't beat Michigan in
No.
a minute.
Nobody
Yeah.
on that
Long
roster.
No,
time.
no one
beaten
has
Michigan.
seen a yeah.
So definitely fire under some of these dudes.
Oh, 100%. That's going to be a great game. That's probably going to be the game of the week. I really do think it's going to
Yeah.
be good. I think Michigan can keep it close for sure just because it's in the big house. But again, I mean, 2019, Michigan was favored and Ohio State won by 30. So, again, we'll see. We'll see how Sayan plays on the road in his first big road game as a starting quarterback for Ohio State. But I
Yeah,
got them
I
pulling it
think
out.
it's when everyone's saying Ohio State really hasn't seen many good teams this year. I think this is, I mean, even though Michigan isn't as good as they were said to be, but I think this is going to be a good chance for them to maybe prove some people wrong and go in there. And I've been reading up on the Heisman lately, and it's people are kind of doubting Julian Sayin, like saying he's probably not going to win over Fernando Mendoza, but I think if he goes in here and has a good showing and really shows what he can do, and maybe Ryan Day changes up the playbook a little bit and lets him sling the rock,
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he could give out a good performance, and not saying that he's going to win the Heisman based off of just beating Michigan, but I think
Helps.
everything involves. I think this is going to be a really good showing for Julian Sayin, as long as he gets a job done at least.
For sure. Yeah, no, for sure. And then night game, obviously, come on, the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's huge for Alabama. I really like to see how Ty Simpson plays in a big game like that. He looked all right against Oklahoma last week. I thought he was really good. I thought he was going to run away with the Heisman, and then he kind of shied away here the last couple of weeks. And so that's a huge game for Bama. I mean, that's a playoff game for Bama there. I mean, every game from now on for the top 25 teams are playoff games to try and make it in here. But I really think Simpson's probably going to get it done there. It is at Auburn, but Jackson Arnold and the Tigers, they don't really wow me this year.
Yeah.
They have a good defense. They're one of 3 teams that have not given up 24 points in a game, but they just can't get it done on offense. And Alabama can, and I think they'll run away with that and get that win.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing we're going to see, not just in that game in the Iron Bowl, but most of these rivalry games is going to be like just these big offenses that some of these teams, especially the SEC teams, have. Looking down here at Georgia and Georgia Tech, I think that's going to be one of the main factors in that game is just Georgia's massive offense alone, and what you're saying about Alabama, like these teams just have these crazy offenses that really. It's hard to just go up, and most teams are struggling against. So I think that's going to be the determining factor in most of these games. Yeah, I mean, just what you've been saying.
100%, dude. I mean, the SEC is a gauntlet, like we've been saying.
Yeah.
It really is. So predicting the championship games here, it's gonna be tough. But in the Big Ten, I'm gonna take my Buckeyes. I think Ohio State is gonna get it done over there. I think it'll be an Ohio State Indiana game, but I'm biased, but I really think Ohio State is going to shut up some Indiana fans. I don't think Indiana is good as they really shown they are. I think a huge win in Eugene is definitely big, but I'm not sold on them. I'm not, and I really think Ohio State is just going to get it done there in the Big Ten championship game on a neutral site. The SEC, I mean, give me the Aggies. I think Texas A&M is going to get that done there. The ACC, it's tough, man. It really is tough. But I'm gonna give it to Georgia Tech. I think the Hokies can get it done there and get into the college football playoff. And then what's left? The Big 12. Texas Tech's gonna take that.
Yeah.
I think pretty easily there. And then the American. Man, that is so tough. That is a tough conference to pick.
Yeah, I mean, let me just go ahead and take this one.
Go
over
ahead,
here.
man. You can take
Yeah,
the
so we're gonna
American.
just talk about my beloved Navy midshipmen for a minute. We're tied with Tulane, the Green Wave here at 6-1, or I guess Tulane's 5-1 in the conference actually, but they're both 8-2 on the season. But Navy's coming off of that huge USF win last week. They took those two. They lost to Notre Dame. I'm not gonna make excuses, but really didn't have that much faith in that team to go in and get that win in South Bend, but losing North Texas too. But Tulane really doesn't have that many good wins. Like I'm looking down here, they beat Eastern Carolina. Is probably their best win this season. Who's second in the
I think
American?
they're also 5-1, Eastern Carolina.
Yeah, but
They're-
I mean like. I guess Navy really doesn't have that much either, but they did beat USF last week, so it's gonna be those two in the championship. But I feel like, everything I've read so far on all these rankings, no one is just paying any attention to the midshipmen. But I think it seemed like they've changed up a few things this year, and obviously, I mean they're 8-2, they're going to a bowl no matter what. So I think, they have to go into Memphis, so that could be a good game.
Is that in 2 weeks or is that next week?
That's in 2 weeks.
Rivalry week? Oh my goodness. Navy,
Yeah.
Memphis. Well, that's not a rivalry.
Yeah, I think it's like on that Thursday maybe, but yeah,
that is huge.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
massive.
So it's gonna be
for the
it's gonna be a
boys.
toss up. They have right now in the bracket they have a what if for Tulane. Obviously, it's hard to tell, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We're still 3 weeks out, but everything I've seen from Navy this year, it's gonna be a good game against Tulane. They've had some pretty good defense, and I mean their offense is putting up some pretty good points every game. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the American Conference, dude. I mean, that is really a gauntlet over there. I just don't know. I don't even know if I can really predict it right now. Tulane
Yeah.
looks good, but so does
I mean, I
Navy.
haven't really watched that
Mhm.
much Tulane. I mean, I've seen scores and stats and stuff, but I mean, it's most of these American teams. Like, I hate to say it, but they're just not good. They're simply just not good.
No, they're-
So I mean, when they're putting up however many points against Charlotte and South or Florida Atlantic and all these teams, like
yeah,
it's hard to tell, but
it is. It is. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, if you guys have any different predictions than what I had, you guys can go ahead and take over. But I mean,
yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you for the most
Yeah.
part.
Might just be hard for Georgia Tech to get in there. They still have a
Yeah.
couple big game against Georgia. They still play Pitt, who's also 5-1 in that
Yeah,
ACC. I don't know. I could see, honestly, crazy take here. I could see Virginia just pulling something out of
Yeah.
I don't know who they
and getting
play.
in there.
Who does
They
Virginia
play
this year?
Virginia has to play
Tech.
just Virginia Tech.
They're
That's
already
it?
Yeah,
they're
they're
already
already by,
they're already
yeah.
9-2
Oh, yeah.
and 6-1.
That might be a
If they can beat
guaranteed
Virginia
ACC
Tech, that throws them
championship
into
there.
at least
Yeah.
the championship.
because Pittsburgh has to play Georgia Tech and
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's got the
Pittsburgh's
hardest
probably.
route.
If I would
Yeah,
had
it's
to
pretty
guess here,
hard.
listen, it's college football. But if I had to guess here, I think Pittsburgh's probably out
Yeah.
because I think
that's
they
hard
definitely
picture.
drop at least one of those two games, which then drops them to two losses.
Yeah,
And then Georgia Tech just plays Pittsburgh, and Georgia doesn't count for the ACC. So if they lose to Georgia, it's not as big of a deal. But if they can beat Pittsburgh, then
They're-
it's going to be Pittsburgh. It's
yeah.
going to be Georgia Tech and Virginia. But then SMU is still in there at one loss, and I don't know who they play
play
this week.
Louisville and California.
So okay, so the
Yeah.
Louisville game's big for SMU. Thing is, I mean, I probably should have read up a little more. I don't know what the tiebreaker is because obviously we could definitely see a
Yeah.
tiebreaker here with
Yeah.
Georgia Tech and Virginia only having one game left, and then as long as SMU can beat Louisville and then go ahead and beat California, we're gonna have a three-way tie there in the ACC. And I don't know, SMU's one loss in the ACC. I don't know who it is. Georgia
they
Tech's-
lost Wake Forest in
Yeah,
the
Virginia lost
in
to
the
Wake
ACC.
Forest.
Virginia lost to Wake Forest.
Yeah. Also,
or no, that
that's
was yeah, that was Virginia.
So Virginia lost to Wake Forest. We just watched that game.
Yeah,
Georgia
Yeah.
Tech lost to
NC State.
NC State.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a horrible loss.
Yeah,
Yeah, both
that was
teams have
early
pretty
though.
bad
That was early.
And
I
then
think.
losses.
SMU. No, Georgia Tech didn't lose early. They were like 8-0.
Yeah,
bet.
I think that's
But then
pretty recent.
SMU lost kind of. No, they lost to like Syracuse or something.
SMU
SMU's lost to
early
Baylor,
Baylor.
DCU, and Wake Forest.
So they have 2 losses.
They have 3. They're 7
Three.
and 3. Their only conference loss was Wake
Yeah,
Forest.
yeah.
Why they play Baylor and TCU?
Yeah, weird
Okay,
schedule, but anyway.
So they have 3 losses, but they only have 1 in the ACC. So they've lost to. You said who? Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wake Forest is. Wake Forest. If
Yeah.
Wake Forest could win games, they'd be up there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so it's gonna be. I don't. So obviously they never played head to head. None of those three
Yeah,
teams
none
are
of them
gonna
have
play
played
each
head
other.
to head at all.
So I don't. The tiebreaker is probably gonna be some bull crap like freaking
Mhm.
points against or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, which right now Georgia Tech Virginia,
least.
Pittsburgh, all separated by 12 points for and 9 points against. Almost identical
So
between all of
SMU
them.
leading in
Yeah.
points the least. points
Yes.
against.
I mean this
Yeah.
this
I don't know what
They
the
have
or
the
it might,
hardest.
It might also be like no.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I don't
know
know.
if it looks at overall record at all either. Because I mean, if Georgia Tech drops one against Georgia, then them and Virginia will have the same record. And
SMU
if
Yeah.
Georgia Tech beats Pittsburgh, that
9 and
definitely hurts
3.
Pittsburgh. But
Yeah, it's
Pittsburgh's
simply
done
just gonna
with
have to
one
be. We're gonna have
loss.
to watch 60 minutes of Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech
yeah,
this
that'll be
weekend.
a
Like,
huge.
Oh,
I'm not
I mean,
missing a
We
second.
gotta watch like every game.
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
every
That's
game
that
has
actually is probably one
a-
of the biggest games.
has like implications. Virginia is off this week, I think. And they play Virginia. Tech
Virginia,
next
yeah,
week.
they only.
So
Virginia
they're
Tech.
off. Georgia Tech plays Pittsburgh. SMU plays Louisville this week. That is
Yeah, hey man,
actually-
Louisville is
Louisville,
a sleeper team. I mean, they're
they're
not.
still
They have
good.
3 losses, so
Yeah.
they're out. But
But I mean, they beat.
had Miller Moss.
Yeah,
I mean, Miller Moss he can sling that thing.
they beat Miami. So
And they
Yeah.
did beat Miami. I mean, they have 2 really bad losses.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
lost their last,
yeah.
dropped their last 2 against Clemson and California
No,
by
those are
1
two-
and
Yeah.
3.
That's bad. Those
Points.
are bad losses. Really bad
Yeah.
losses there.
Unfortunately, they beat everyone that they needed to beat. They did
Yeah.
lose to Virginia in overtime earlier this year, so
That's
they're
a good loss. though.
100% out. But
They're out. I mean, we could definitely see. I mean, that is probably the best case scenario, or the most likely case scenarios. We could have a 3-way tie here in the ACC.
Mhm.
I'm not really like very high on SMU. Like they could probably drop the game against Louisville, and that would just end it. As
Yeah.
long as then we could see Pittsburgh beating Georgia Tech, and we could have a Virginia Pittsburgh ACC
Yeah.
championship game there, and
yeah.
that probably leaves Georgia Tech out of the playoff. But I mean, I think
Anything
the
can
committee. I used to hate the committee, but I really think the committee has gotten it right this year with the top 25. I mean, I
Mhm.
can't be very mad about a lot of these teams, and we haven't even talked about teams like Vanderbilt, who
Yeah, I
they
mean,
have
they
they're just
still
sitting
have-
there with 1 loss,
Yeah.
and they could push, they could run the table here with 1 loss and get in. I think they have.
yes, I believe so. Or no, they have 2 losses,
Oh, shoot,
4 and
sorry,
2
they
in
lost. They
in
lost.
that conference.
They
there.
lost. Never mind. They probably are going to get left out. But I mean, teams like Vanderbilt. I mean, Utah in the Big 12. Man, I was looking over their schedule. They have pummeled every team that they have played. They are sitting at 2 losses. I think they
Yeah.
lost to Texas Tech,
5 and 2.
and they lost
in
to
conference. BYU, I believe.
they lost to BYU by.
They only lost to
3.
BYU, yeah, by 3.
So a team like that and a BYU team who only has 1 loss, like again, this bracket's gonna get shaken up here with the championship weeks. But the last little thing we can go over here is we can just pick our national title picks here. I mean, I'm gonna stay home here and be a homer, and I'm gonna pick Ohio State to go back to back here. I mean that they are far and away the number 1 team in the country, and they really remind me of 2021, 2022 Georgia here with their defense and ways of I almost said Stetson Bennett. Julian Sand doesn't really have to play the best he has to, and that this team can still win pretty easily with the defense that they have. So I mean, until they prove me wrong, I'm taking Ohio State to win back to back. But
Yeah, there's nothing that I disagree with there. I think Ohio State going back to back.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want to see OSU go with the 2-peat, and I think they have everything they need to do it. But I mean, like, I'm gonna throw away Indiana now because I mean I don't really have that much faith in them. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like they're gonna have to play OSU here in a little bit for the Big Ten, and yeah, I just don't think down the stretch they can beat some of these SEC teams. So like I said, OSU, but I mean like A&M and hell, even like Georgia. I mean, even I know Alabama's ranked at 10 right now, and they have some tough losses. But even them, what I've seen from them this year, they could get some stuff together and make a run for it. But I mean, Ohio State's defense is that's just gonna be what matters down the stretch. But some of these offenses that I've seen, like A&M and Georgia and even Bama, like I said, I think it's gonna be hard to, when we're down in a neutral site and it's kind of just a gauntlet at the end. I think it could be any of those teams, but I mean, yeah, I'm still favoring Ohio State right now.
100%, man. I mean,
It's just obvious. I mean, this is cookie cutter, but I mean, it's gonna be a damn good game whoever they play.
Yeah.
Oh, 100.
Like, obviously it always is, but I mean, I'm not scared as an Ohio State fan.
No.
sometimes when we're going into these playoff games, I'm a little
Get
nervous. But
last year I was.
mean, if they-
hella-
yeah,
I was hella
but
nervous last
but with
year.
the way they've been playing, if they had to go see A&M or Georgia down the well, they would have to see Georgia probably. This bracket pans out, but I mean, I'm not as nervous as I have been. I think their defense is just master class, and if Sand actually starts throwing the rock like a grown man, then it's yeah.
I mean, yeah, Patricia's got those boys ready, man.
Yeah.
Patricia's got those boys. Please, pay him $1 billion so he'll stay. Please and thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be cinema either way. I think all these matchups can be so good. I mean, he didn't like in the bracket. I can't pull it up right now, but in the bracket it had Alabama, Oregon. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
A game in like a home game in Eugene. Ty Simpson, Kalen DeBoer has to go into Eugene and play, and then it had like Notre Dame at Oklahoma. I mean, come on. What you can't write a better story there. CJ Carr and Jeremiah Love having to go into Norman, and that'll probably be a night game against John Mateer and Brent Venables. I mean, what you can't write a better story. So that's like jumping off what JP said. Like every single team is so good that no matter what matchup we have, I think besides probably the Group of 5 team, all of these games are going to be so good and must watch, and that's just what you want out of college football. I know next week we'll talk a little bit more about it in our episode, but college basketball I feel like has kind of made the better teams better, or the good teams better, and I feel like in college football it's done the exact opposite. I feel like we have such more even teams, and that's what makes these games so much more fun every single week. But
Yeah, I agree with you on that. What you said about all these teams. I think like looking at the bracket last year, there were some teams that I was like, they might as well just not even play.
yeah,
like SMU making it, like, come on.
yeah.
But I mean,
Boise
look,
State,
yeah.
come on.
I mean, Boise State was good, but I mean,
they got cooked by friggin'
Yeah.
Penn State, bro.
look at it, I mean, this bracket isn't gonna stay the same as it is now for 3 more weeks, but like looking down through all these teams, I mean, even to like, if Miami makes that as an 11, like that's, well, I mean, Miami's probably not going to make it, but whoever through like at least 10 of these seeds,
Right.
they all deserve to be there. Like I have no doubt in that. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think I would rather see an ACC team than an American, as much as I love Navy, but I mean, I think a ACC team would pan out a little bit better.
Well, no matter what, the American.
Yeah.
So we'll see ACC and American.
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
they have Miami in here.
So
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, like with the way that the American will have to play as the 12 seed, is we're
Yeah.
either gonna see a team like Texas Tech who just won the Big 12, or they might see a team like Indiana or Georgia who just lost
Yeah.
the ACC or the SEC or Big
Yeah.
10 championship game. And as much as we've been talking down Indiana would pummel any American
Yeah.
team. So
Yeah, I mean that's
those
just like
games would be kind of bad, but.
that's
I mean,
like the
that's why I
problem.
would
Yeah.
just love to see Navy get in, because that would
Yeah.
just be. I like to see them run the ball 80 times
Smash 'em
and
out.
Hey man,
somehow
Blake
trying to
Horvath
win
can sling
there.
the rock when he needs to.
yeah. I mean, come on, that would just be so much fun, because I have not watched Tulane, and I mean we wanted USF to get in too, but they
Yeah, I
obviously lost to
mean,
Navy
yeah.
Goody Byron.
with their. But I mean, I'm rooting for Navy here in the American. as
Yeah,
much
I
as
mean-
and that's not just because JP's a fan. That would be hilarious for a triple option team to make the college
Yeah, I
football
think
playoff in
I think that's actually
2025.
one of the good things now is like they have 12 teams. It's not, you don't have to be undefeated or be a one-loss team and
Yeah.
go to your championship to make it. Now, I mean, we're looking at, I mean, just from watching alone, that's automatically better. I get to watch so many more games now. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, we're looking at, never in my life would I think to see Tulane or Navy going up against Teja Tech for a chance to win a
Or like-
national title.
Or like Georgia or something.
Yeah.
Like if they have to play Georgia.
yeah, no, it's
I don't
yeah.
know. And Gunnar Stockton and the boy, they love to slow the game down too. So that game could be like freaking 17-4 or something. Like it would
Yeah.
be some insane score. So, but just to wrap it up, we'll talk a little bit about next week's episode if you guys want to tune in. Next week we'll be hitting on college basketball. So if you've been tuning in for the first couple of weeks, please tune in. Tonight, I know we have 2 big games with Arizona and UConn and Illinois and Alabama. But as I said, my boy JP over here loves
Yeah, it's gonna be
college
about
basketball.
20-minute breakdown for me to just talk about Mark Pope and the boys. We got
Dude,
we're
that team
we're
has
3-2
started
right now.
well.
It might be time to
It
panic.
might be time to panic there.
Yeah.
As my Buckeyes are 4-0, so
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about much. I mean, we've beaten Notre Dame. That's about it. But be sure to tune in. So thank you guys for watching the inaugural episode of Sheboygan Talks. Again, I am Drew Osler. This is Henry Barnes and Joshua Porter. We'll see you guys next week, and don't forget to watch sports.